If you've been scrolling through endless rows of upright basses, comparing with tones, neck profiles, and price tags, and you still feel that nagging doubt about which instrument actually fits your gig schedule and practice space, this review is here to clear that up. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent a few weeks testing the Ibanez bass workshop UB804 in a small rehearsal studio, a live club setting, and even a home recording corner, because I wanted to see how it behaves when you actually have to move it from room to room and keep it sounding smooth through different playing styles. First off, the UB804 is marketed as a fretted-free, upright bass, which already tells you a lot about the audience it's trying to attract. The fretless fingerboard, made of Jatoba, a dense hardwood often used in acoustic guitars for its bright sustain, gives you that classic, singing low end you expect from a double bass, but with the electric pickup system that lets you plug into a PA or a recording interface without the need for a bulky acoustic mic rig. The body is a solid piece of maple, finished in a mahogany oil burst that looks like something you'd find in a vintage shop, while the neck is a 5-piece maple/walnut construction that's supposed to keep the neck stable even when you crank the tuning pegs hard. Who should actually consider buying this? If you're a jazz or blues player who already knows how to coax tone from a fretless instrument, but you've been held back by the logistical nightmare of transporting a true upright, the UB804 fits like a glove. Its weight is roughly what you'd expect from a standard electric bass, lighter than a real acoustic double bass, so loading it onto a gig van or even a small car trunk becomes a realistic scenario. I took it on a 2-hour road trip to a nearby venue, and after a quick plug-in and a couple of warm-up runs, it settled in without any tuning drift, which is a relief for anyone who's ever walked off stage only to find the instrument out of pitch because the wood flexed during transport. On the other side of the fence, if you're a classical double bass student who needs the full resonant depth of a hollow body instrument for orchestral auditions, this might not be the right choice. The UB804's solid maple body, while great for feedback resistance and easy amplification, doesn't produce the same acoustic richness as a true acoustic upright. You'll still get a clean, articulate tone when it's plugged in, but the natural overtones that a concert hall expects are missing. For that reason, conservatory teachers often steer their students toward a traditional acoustic model for the audition circuit, saving the electric upright for side gigs and practice sessions. Now let's talk practicality. The built-in stand that comes with the UB804 is a simple, fold-away metal frame that locks into the body's heel. It's not a decorative piece, it actually supports the instrument at a comfortable playing height without needing a separate floor stand. When I set it up in a cramped bedroom, the stand allowed me to keep the bass upright and out of the way when I wasn't playing, which saved floor space and kept the instrument from getting knocked over by a pet cat. The downside is that the stand's base is relatively narrow, so on uneven surfaces you might need to add a little rubber mat to keep it from wobbling. The neck feels a bit thicker than a traditional electric bass, which is intentional for an upright style feel. My left hand, accustomed to a slimmer electric neck, needed a short adjustment period, but once I got the muscle memory, the extra width actually helped me maintain consistent finger pressure across the fretless fingerboard. The 5-piece construction does its job. There's no noticeable neck twist even after a full night of heavy playing. However, the walnut inserts add a slight dark streak to the overall aesthetic, which some players might find less appealing if they're after a pure maple look. When it comes to tone, the UB804 shines in the mids and low mids. Plugged straight into a clean amp, the bass produces a warm, rounded bottom end that fills a small club without overwhelming other instruments. I tried a light overdrive pedal for a funk jam, and the signal stayed articulate. The slap notes didn't get lost in a mushy low-frequency swamp, which can happen with some solid-body electrics. The pickup system is a single piezo element positioned under the bridge, so you get a direct, acoustic-like response without the harshness of a magnetic pickup. That said, if you're after a gritty, growling distortion tone for heavy rock, you'll have to stack a dedicated distortion unit, because the piezo alone stays very clean by design. One practical concern that often pops up in the forums is the string choice. The UB804 comes with standard 4-string steel strings, but because it's fretless, many players swap to flat wound or even gut core strings for a softer attack and less fingerboard wear. I experimented with a set of flat wound strings on the UB804,